Hello, welcome back to Transformer TCG fans, friends, and family. Thanks for being here. Thanks for following along. I have a whole lot of cards that we're going to go over as quick as we can. Let's look at something fairly older, which is Extra Hand, which you probably afford to have a pip on here, really. But it's basically similar to Dual Wield. Dual Wield, one of your characters gets an extra weapon slot until end of turn. One of your characters gets an extra weapon slot until end of turn. Only thing is I made this a common. We have this as an uncommon, but it's also going to help trigger if you have a mercenary character and you play Dual Wield, you can play a weapon from your scrap pile and actually play it. So, being able to have a weapon on a character, play Dual Wield. If it's a mercenary, you can play the Howling Howitzer on it also, along with maybe Warrior Steel or something crazy. But Extra Hand doesn't have anything else really helping it. So allowing to have it be, common for like a Junkion kind of style, I left it blank, but it's going to do the same thing, but it's best to have a character with a weapon, already on it to be able to play another weapon. That's an armor, but another weapon on it. You get my meaning. So so there is that. Extra Hand. That's an older one, but let's get into some really fun and new stuff here. Let's look into, well, we went over Spider Webhook, which is Black Arachnia's kind of what I called it, her weapon. It's an upgrade. It's a black pip for beasts only. It gives Pierce 2 when it's on anybody. But if you play it on a ranged character, untap a character you control that has less stars than the equipped character. This would not work if Tarantulas is tapped and you put the Spider Webhook on Waspinator and he is ranged. Well, you can't untap Tarantulas because he's too many stars. But if we have, I don't know, let's say my Megatron, who both has the ranged and melee trait, you put this Spider Webhook on Megatron, now you can untap Tarantulas. My thing is still in the way. I'm sorry. But you get my meaning behind that. And it's a weapon that only gives Pierce 2. It has no attack on it at all. So there is that. Let's keep moving. Now, that's right. In the vein of the Spider Webhook, I've made 2 lassos. One basically is the same thing, and for the most part, actually no, it's not. This is her weapon when she was her original form. Her original form, and then this lasso, what I call the Spider Lasso, is after she went transmetal too. So let's look at it first. It's an orange pip color, not a black pip. It does get +1 to Pierce. But when you put this on a Predacon melee character in bot mode, so kind of like this Megatron here, he is a Predacon, he is in melee, and he's in bot mode. If you put the lasso on him, as long as he has an empty weapon slot, then you can tap a 10-star or less enemy character equipped with a weapon. So not only can this character have those traits and in bot mode, not the first weapon, but he just can't already have a weapon or it won't get triggered. Then you're going to be able to tap another character 10 stars or less as long as they have a weapon on them, and then you can tap them, like say Tarantulas or something. In the meantime, it's still 10 stars or less, so your opponent can still use Ready for Action and untap that character. So same thing with Energon Lasso. Energon Lasso is still an orange pip, but we go from one attack to 2 attack. When you put this on a Decepticon character in bot mode with an empty weapon slot, tap a 7-star or less enemy character. So this is going to be good for your Decepticon characters. You're going to be able to tap 7-star or less characters, but not 10-star. Either way, as long as your opponent has ready for actions, they can counter this. We already have something that can counter this. So that's, bringing down your opponent, so to speak, with the lasso when they're on putting on certain characters. Maybe I should have this a Decepticon ranged character. I don't know. What do y'all think? I'm up for changing things, but one does have one to attack. Originally, these did not have attack on them at all. And I thought, well, for the sake of it, they're only triggered when you put it on the character. So when they're on the character, it's dead. I mean, it doesn't have a use. So I thought, well, we need to have a little bit of attack on here. So I gave it 1 attack for bringing down a 10-star or less, 2 attack for bringing down a 7-star or less. And yes, there are some some hoops to go through to be able to get those both kind of working for you. Cybernucleic Acid is an image from Transformers Prime when the shockwave of that series created Predacons. So the Predacon symbol, is not for these Predacons. It's for the Combiner Predacons. So put on Predacons only. This can only be for the Predaking combiners, okay? Which is a utility that is orange and black, +1 to attack, utility, bold 1. Somebody thought this needed to be a star card, and I'm like, I don't think so. Brass Knuckles can give you bold 2, and it's not even this specific. It's only given +1 to attack. But it does have nice flipping for orange-black decks for your Predacons, for your Combiner Predacons. Thinking of them in mind, here's Rabid Pierce. Rabid Pierce is an old stratagem that I came up with, one of 2. It is starless. And again, Predacons, the Combiner Predacon team. Each Predacon, let's see if we can get a little closer. Each Predacon has +1 to defense. Each Predacon has Pierce 1. Maybe I should have while in alt mode instead of has Pierce 1 in alt mode. Cannot be played with Bold Persuasion. Bold Persuasion is the opposite, which is also a non-star stratagem, which I normally don't like. But in order to have a stratagem for your Predacons that combine, that can't be a star because they already total 25. So this will give them just a bump in defense for every single one of them, and even Predaking, and only Pierce 1 in alt mode. So once they all combine, Predaking does not get Pierce, and it's only Pierce 1, but all Pierce, it has a domino effect, is just as bold and tough and everything else. But he's still a Predacon. He's still going to get the +1 defense. Which isn't much, but it is a stratagem without a star. So just to help them out just ever so slightly. In the meantime, we have Combiner Reaction. Here is it. Let's see here. Reveal when one of your combiners defends. I have combiner characters, but when one of your combiner characters defends, your opponent gets -2 bold. So what we have here is a secret action that is, again, orange and black, but only the Autobots are going to get the Pierce on the flip with this. But you can use it with any combiner. Your Decepticon combiners are only just going to get the orange pip. But I think this is really nice because they're going to get, when they defend, this is going to be a card that, again, is sort of a late gamer kind of card, late in game. Your opponent may be nice, massive, build up their upgrades, probably have some fusion bores or something with a good bit of bold or a good bit of pierce or a good bit of tough, whatever. In the meantime, If once you're combined with whatever combiner you're using, you can reveal this, and they have -2 bold. So now instead of them maybe flipping 8 or 10, they're only flipping 6 or 8 cards. So to speak. If they have a brass knuckles and they play a supercharge and they've got something else along with a weapon or even a battlefield or a zone card or something, that all this bold stacking up, you're going to be able to chop down at least 2. But you're going to have to be in combined mode to be able to trigger this secret action card. Otherwise, it's just nothing for you for that time. Still thinking along the combiners, I have made another Dinobot Enigma. Remember, the rule is you can only have up to 3 of the same named cards. So yes, you could have 2 or and 1 of this Enigma. You could have 2 of the original and 1 of this, or 2 of these and 1 of the original. It's the exact same name. You can't have more than 3. While the original Dinobot Enigma gives your characters we go down. Originally, I thought it actually went backwards, but I was wrong. If the top one it doesn't trigger, you go to the next one. If the next one isn't triggered, then the ability on the bottom, you're going through a process of elimination to see what's going to trigger. So the first thing the Enigma does is combine your character. Of course, this is not a Dinobot. And then once you have them already combined, then the ability happens. So if you have Volcanicus on the battlefield, draw a card and scrap a card from your hand, and he gets Pierce 2 until end of turn. So it's kind of like that Starscream card, but except it's got a little bit of draw power. You have to draw, scrap, and he gets Pierce 2. Volcanicus gets Pierce 2 instead of bold. But you're also able to sort of churn for cards a little bit also. Draw 1, scrap 1, get Pierce 2 for Volcanicus. So that's the difference with this Enigma compared with the original giving bold 2. Let's look at, let's stay with the Dinobots and look at Power Slash. This is just 2 of the same card. Power Slash, I believe that is Snarl on here, and it's an action. Again, I normally don't do a lot of orange, but here we have orange and black. The orange pip actually has the fire con symbol on here. When your attacker is a beast, Dinobot, or Firecon equipped with a sword type weapon. Where'd my sword go? With a sword type weapon. And I know we have another one other than just the indestructible sword. It has Pierce 3 until end of turn. All right, so there's that. So of course the indestructible sword is a Pierce card, so you're gonna have to give up a star just for this sword itself. Basically because it never really gets KO'd, it never gets scrapped. It always goes back into your hand, which is a nice sword or nice weapon to have. So that's what Power Slash is going to do. It's a very aggressive card for the flip, for the pierce, to help out in conjunction with any sword type weapons. Okay, so that is Power Slash. In the meantime, let's see here. I'm running out of time. Let's look at the Ferrotaxis. The Ferrotaxis is, yeah, I know. Looks almost identical to the Dinobot Enigma, doesn't it? It's actually from the game Devastation. This is Megatron holding it and all the Autobots in the background. Megatron was controlling the Insecticons with the Ferrotaxis. With the funny, strange, diamond-shaped taxi. No, I'm just kidding. And he was utilizing the Insecticons to just destroy the cities of Earth. And so this is a stratagem to help your Insecticons like they need it. But with all the new stuff from ATP into ARC, etc., maybe they do need a little help. This is going to help them on the defense side. It is going to take a star. I like my stratagems to have a star. When one of your Insecticons is KO'd, put a counter on this stratagem. Didn't name it, it's just a counter. Just use a dice, piece of paper, whatever. Each Insecticon has tough 1 for each counter on this. So as your Insecticons get KO'd, you're going to be giving your remaining Insecticons in the field tough. Okay? Which is kind of neat. And plus, when one of your Insecticons defends, reduce the total damage by 1. Now, a lot of the Insecticons don't have a whole lot of health, so we may end up... so you might want to use maybe my Energon card that I made, which is utility that is starless, but is a blank pip card that gives +1 to attack, 1 to defense, and 1 health. So to help maybe give them a little bit of health. They may need it, they may not. Depends on how you're actually wanting to play Insecticons. But this is going to help give them a little bit of defense, adding tough as your Insecticons are KO'd. In the meantime, this is going to get counters on it so you can keep up with how much tough they do have. And each time your Insecticons defends, reduce their total attack damage by 1. Of course, if they only have 8 health, the attack damage is 13, -1 is 12, they're still KO'd. So there's that. A neat new stratagem. Maybe to get, and again, it's not that strong of a stratagem. The Insecticons do have a lot going for them, but there's that. Let's look at Reentry, which is a double black pip and one of them has a spaceship. So everybody that's not a spaceship, which is 95% of our characters, until I finish and recolor my Spedibots, which is a whole team of combining spaceships that form into Stridor. If you remember, Speared and Blimpus and etc. etc. Stridoff and Ramstador and all them. When one of your characters defends, so anybody can use this to defend. It's that simple. If your attack damage was all pierce damage, scrap one of your attacker's upgrades. So if you have enough, if your defender has enough defense to counter all their attack, but they still get 2 or 3 attack damage on you anyway through pierce, you're going to be able to scrap one of their upgrades. It's just that simple. And this is the shot of Beast Wars, the very first episode, with the Axelon and the Nemesis crashing into the Earth in the past. So there is that. And so that is Reentry. Let's look at Peace Treaty, which is another secret action. This is a star card secret action with a hybrid black-green. This is interesting. This really seems to work. I like this. I really, really like this. I think you will too. This is an image from Cyberverse when they're making the peace treaty with the Decepticons after they got rid of the Quintessons, etc., etc. I like the 3-finger and thumb kind of hands there for Prime and Megatron, which I just find funny. When one of your characters defends. Okay, hybrid black-green. Okay, so you're definitely going to want the pierce when you're flipping for attack. You're probably going to want the green pip when flipping for defense. So you can actually get this when you're defending. When one of your characters defends, when revealed, reduce your attack's total damage by 4. By 4. Daggum, this is in the way. So that's why I call this Peace Treaty. When we say total attack damage, that's also factoring in pierce. Okay? So that is Peace Treaty. Is it too strong? I don't think so. We have a star on it. Simple hybrid for its functionality. Really nice. And basically, it's like Force Field in a secret action form. Okay? And a lot of people did not like Force Field. I remember some of Wassie's old videos. He said the same thing. The last one, which is what, if you've seen this symbol down here, is this set is all about, the Overlord Cannon. The Overlord Cannon is not too dissimilar from the Magnus armor, aka the Ultra Magnus armor, after they added the word Ultra on there, which took it out of where it should have been in the numerical system for wave 2. It's a put on Optimus Prime only. So this is a card only Optimus Prime can wear. It has black, orange, and blue. So it's kind of like the Matrix. It's kind of like the Magnus armor. It's got a lot going for it. It just doesn't have the white. 2 stars, Optimus Prime only, Pierce 3, Attack 3, Defense 3. After the equipped character battles, scrap this card. So I like it. I like this a lot. It's only going to help Optimus Primes though. And it's going to, take two stars off like the Magnus armor would do. So whether you're playing in a deck of 40 or a deck of 60, you're probably only going to want one of these unless you're doing something big like playing 30 stars or 50 stars or 40 stars or whatever, something crazy, and going to town. So whether you're attacking like akin to a fusion bore or defending with a defense of 3 like an emergency barricade, it's going to get scrapped. So that's all we have for today. Just a ton of stuff. We went over a lot of cards. That's official. With a new Enigma for the Dinobots, which is the same name, so you can mix it in with the original. Here's my Rapid Pierce, which is an oldie but goodie that I did years ago. That's not going to help it'll help the Predacons slightly. We've got Energon Cybernucleic Acid. We got 2 different lassos that are going to be able to tap your enemies of characters through different triggers, either 10 stars or less or 7 stars or less, and different attack values as well. Spider web hook, we did that on a previous video. So just a lot of neat stuff. I hope you like this, and I'm still sticking with the regular MSC and Trap. No, I'm just kidding. I cannot do his voice. I can do Transformer voices, but anyway. A lot of neat stuff here, from Devastation, Cyberverse, toy product images, all sorts of stuff. What do y'all think? I'm still keeping with the MSC, not because ATP, they're slowly revealing their Wave 6 right now on Facebook. If you're keeping up with that, and I'm sure you are, they've kind of moved on to their own format and their own template, which still works. They're still functional cards, but you know, it doesn't look like the original. So, and a lot of this, some of these are paper with an official card behind them. A few of these are actually stock paper on like Reentry is here. So what do you think? Do you like this? Are these some cards that you think that you would want to play with? Really mix things up a bit, have some fresh cards. I guess I would call this the Overlord Cannon set. And there's more than just these. The Spark Extractor is also part of this set as well, which I think we've gone over. An upgrade utility, +1 to attack, orange pip, bold 1. When the equipped character defends, move a damage counter from an enemy character to the attacker. So, you know, you're able to move one damage from one of your enemy characters to the whoever's attacking you when you defend. So there's that. That's a little different as well. And it's also part of this whole set. I almost forgot about that one. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. A lot of cards. We went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cards in about 25 minutes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll see you next time. Have a blessed day. And as always,
maybe if Waspinator had more defense, maybe Waspinator wouldn't blow up all the time.